Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us on this Monday, the very last Monday for our podcast and of the year 2021.
Well, it's not the last Monday of our podcast.
This year.
This year.
Yeah, you caught it.
Thank God 2021's over.
I know. We're rolling into 2022 all expecting anything different.
Oh, gosh. I hope
Not much. But we'll talk about that later with real estate, what we see, what we predict, what the predictions are for the 2022 year of real estate. But, you know, we're at the end of this year.
Yes. I'm looking forward to putting 2021 behind us. It's been a little bit of a crazy year in property management and in real estate and just in the world in general.
I know.
It's been a little weird.
Yeah, we've got this new variant and, you know, people are getting a little crazy about that too. And
yes,
I know a lot of people who contracted it during Christmas with their, you know, families getting together and their travels. So,
I mean, I know TikTok is not necessarily a reliable source of news, but basically someone was like, it's so rampant that if you have a scratchy throat, you have it. If you have a runny nose, you have it.
Pretty much.
So, you know, and then I also saw a meme and it was a basketball player. And I'm so sorry. I know he's really famous. I know everybody knows who he is. Is his name LeBron James?
Sure.
Okay. I think that's a famous basketball player. Anyways,
Good
it was
job.
like three different Spider-Mans all in the same thing. And it was like flu, COVID, Omicron.
However you say it.
However you say it. And it was basically like we're all the same thing. And they were all like shooting each other. So I was like, that's kind of bold for a celebrity to put that out there. But I found it funny. Yeah. I gave him a little heart on the Twitter.
Well, you know, Spider-Man's really popular right now, so may as well, you know.
And because there's a new movie or whatever.
This is the time of year when you can get flu or Omicron or COVID or anything, but really the flu year. So
just don't get the vomiting virus.
Right, the stomach virus. Yes. I think that would be the worst of all of them.
Yes. I mean, well, it's come around. I've had it twice in December. I would do not recommend. Yeah.
Good thing I was away for a while.
That's why I didn't go to the Christmas party.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was your kid.
Yeah. Well, I got it like 2 days later. That's how that works. But yeah, we had somebody call out today because she said she thinks she ate something. I was like, no, girl.
No.
You're good luck on your next 24 hours.
Well, hopefully everybody's, you know, just getting little doses of this, and you've had your shots if that's what you believe in.
Of the show.
Yeah. No, just, you know, we're talking about health and, you know, keep healthy and, you know, take your vitamins and get out for some fresh air and know that if you get sick that, you know, we're thinking about you and hopefully you will feel better soon and get back to your regular life. And I think that's sort of this is my theory of how we have to look at this, you know, with going into 2022 with it still rampant around and the news is all about it, the media is all about it, and just, you know, this is the new way to live our life. So hopefully you won't get it. Hopefully I won't get it.
I bought some hand sanitizer at the gas station the other day. Nice. So, you know, I'm ready.
All right, everybody. So we have a different way of what we're going over with the Monday Market Moment. So we'll go ahead and run that again since we forgot Kristen Rabell and
Rebecca Johnson.
You guys should know us by now. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll go over the Monday Market Moment a little differently, take the first half and show you some numbers. Looking forward to it. All right. So the one sad thing I have to tell you is that we went on Florida Realtors because I think, and this is monthly, so this is really just for the month of November. But what it's going to show you, we're going to go through Alachua County, which is, of course, Gainesville and then the surrounding areas in Alachua County, Marion, but really focuses on Ocala numbers. And then Tampa, which not just focuses on the little Tampa Bay, downtown Tampa area that we work on, it's which is Hillsborough County, but also Pasco, Hernando, and Pinellas County. We don't have St. Augustine because the Florida Realtors does not believe that is a special enough area. They picked Jacksonville instead. So sorry, we can't break that down. But these numbers are really, really interesting because they show you last month, right? So November versus the year before in November. Mm-hmm. And so every once in a while we like to pull these up. So we can go through all of this. I know it's really hard to see and I think it's a lot of information, which is why we're going to take it. We have it right here for us to read.
Thank God.
But the closed sales in Alachua County for November of this year, 2021, there were 267 of them. Last year, there were 246. So there is an 8.5 increase in sales from last year, which would you say with your experience in real estate this year seems like a little bit more? I mean, it seems like right on.
Seems, yeah. I mean, honestly, it feels like it's busier, but that makes sense because, we already know that only 5% of the people do 10% of the work.
Now, granted, so down below, it's going to show you every month. So last month, obviously it's December, but we don't have December's numbers yet. So the month before, there were 252 sales. So November was actually a little more successful in closings than October, and which was even less than September. And from the numbers, when you go down, it goes, the highest month was actually June, which is pretty typical. If you see down below from 2017 to 2021, the largest month is usually June, July. Sometimes it was May, but you can see right in the middle where it's the highest, that's almost always June on these months. April's when I think most of the deals are being made. The pendings are going in, and then they really close June, July, and August. So at least we know it was pretty normal, right, for every year. That those little maps, the little graphs down below, all kind of look similar enough. So we know it was a pretty normal year in that terms. There is a really big hike 2021 in June, though, because that was 398 closings. And a really low one was February. So, again, I think that's pretty normal. Also, January and February are usually the slower months. And a lot of people like to close before the end of the year to get those tax benefits, which, of course, we'll talk about throughout.
Well, in December, you January. Also see, so everybody's rushing to close in December. So January, February are like recovery because I've always equated it to, early to mid-January, you're opening up your credit card statement from Christmas shopping.
Right.
And that's when everybody starts coming through the house, turning off all the light switches, saying, what are you wasting all this money for? Nobody's eating out. Everybody's tightening that belt.
Right.
And joining the gym to tighten that belt. No, they're getting
that is
fit.
True
it is true. It is kind of funny because we go to the gym year round, and I can tell you that in January through March, you see a lot of new people, which I think is awesome. But I'm always like, I can't get into my class that I want to get into. So, but yeah, so I think it's pretty common in January and February to see those be slower. Plus, it's hard to move when the kids are in school.
Right. So some other information here that's really great that we can't really disseminate from the from these new MLSs that we're using quite so much is that it breaks it down even more. So paid in cash, 60 of the sales paid in cash this month, as opposed to 56 of last year this month, which is really close, too close for me to
I think
call.
But
that's still a good number right there. 267 divided by 60, what is that percentage? Right, exactly. So, that's a large number right there. 60 of them were cash. And I think that's what we've seen throughout this year is that the reason why we were able to go so high in numbers and to have these bids higher than list price a lot of times because we have so many cash buyers. And everything we've read has been because people have been able to save. You didn't go out as much. You didn't go shopping people were shopping a lot, but not, you didn't have to
that was
gas.
Not me.
The gas was, less because they're not leaving, right? You're not going to the restaurants, so you're saving a lot of money with that. So a lot of people also sold their house for a lot more than what they owed on it.
I know. Right. That's the number that jumps out to me.
So the number, exactly, the dollar volume of that month, this month in Alachua, this is just Alachua County, 101.3 million, which is up from 73.4 million from the year before. So that's a full year, 38% increase.
That's insane.
Right. Also, another huge number that jumped out to me was that last year, the average sale price of this month or November was $298,271. And this year it's $379,525.
Yeah, and think about it. You only have an 8.5% jump in terms of number of buyers, but you're seeing prices increase 38.1%. You're seeing the average sales price go up 22%. It's 27.
Yep.
Sorry, I was looking at
that's fine. That's huge.
That's a lot.
Median time to contract. Everybody says, "Oh, we went under contract." 1 to 3 days. This is all of Alachua County, so you have a couple of those surrounding areas that have unique type homes. So the average was 16 this November and 21 days last November. So when you're hearing people are going under contract, really quickly, that was more summer, I would think. But then it did take 65 days to close. trying to catch up probably with those appraisals. Appraisals been taking a lot longer. Surveys were taking a lot longer because everyone is super busy. So, and that wasn't that much different from last year of 69 days. And again, still having the issues of getting those appraisers on time and getting the surveys on time. And that really takes a great team, both realtors on both sides, if there's two, and then also the lender knowing when to order these things because the lender orders your appraisal. We can also go through in Alachua County, new pending sales of this month, of this November, was 258, and then new listings 217. So kind of those numbers. There's pending inventory of 972, which was the remaining pending. So the month supply has gone up from 1.8 last year around the same time to 2.4. So remember a couple, the beginning of the year and in the middle of the year, we were saying there's only about 1 month, maybe 2 of inventory. We're a little over 2 of inventory. So at least we have a little bit more inventory. I have noticed as a realtor, out on the field, that houses are taking a little longer. Mm-hmm. So there's more out there, not pending as quickly, despite that it says 16 days. We've noticed, again, over the summer, it was like 5 days.
Well,
and
you have to remember, some of this can also be contributed to new construction. Mm-hmm. They're putting it in and pending it the same day, so it looks like it's going pending immediately, but it wasn't even listed,
right,
typically.
Exactly.
So... Well, that's very interesting stuff.
There's still 700 active listings in Alachua County right now. Well, as of November, so somewhere around that number. All right, let's go on to Marion County.
All right, so Marion County, they're looking strong. They had
actually, that's Tampa up on the screen.
Sorry, we can switch to Tampa.
We can switch to Tampa. That's fine. All right, let's go.
So Tampa. So they're closed. Oh, these are all the big numbers.
Yeah, these are huge numbers.
So they're actually not quite as large. Sorry.
Now remember. Right, but remember, this is not just our smaller Hillsborough.
No, I know, but it's a large metropolitan area. Mm-hmm. So they had 4,535 closings in November 2021 versus 4,265. So the change of 6.3%.
Which is not that much different from the 8.5.
Really,
of Alachua.
Yeah, that's pretty safe sounding. Things that are interesting to me, again, the dollar volume jumped up about 30%, 30.5%.
Yeah, but look at this paid in cash. It jumped up 71% from last year.
So I think that's all. Because we had to find a new office in Tampa this year. And it was really frustrating and interesting.
We're renting, but we can talk about rent and sales.
Well, no, I was going to say I think it goes hand in hand.
I do too.
We had a hard time finding a rental property. And so I asked some of these commercial agents, like, what's happening? And they said people are moving into our area from other states to open their businesses. So it actually created a commercial boom, but also is helping their housing market because these people have cash because they're coming from states like California, New York, where they're getting, really high dollar amounts because the housing has been
can we
high.
talk about why we had to re-rent?
Oh.
Yes. So our lease wasn't up until June or July, the summer of
we were
2022.
planning to leave anyways,
so we were planning, the girls were already looking for us and kind of checking things out, telling us where they wanted to move to, but it wasn't really like top of mind. And then I got a call from our landlord, who is an owner of a very well-known commercial real estate company. They're great. We're, not mad at all. We understand how it goes, but called and said, can you be out in a month? And this is why we had to look quickly and then realize what was happening in Tampa and how it was really affecting the market as a whole. But she told us that, and we knew this, we were renting one room from an entire floor. And when we rented it, it had been rented out as an entire floor before. So she told us, we need you out because somebody wants to move in and they want the entire floor. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We'll figure this out. Well, 2 weeks after
we moved out,
the nerdy girls who work in Tampa for us, they both said, hey, did you see that this entire building was being sold?
Yeah, it's in the paper. It was an article. Yeah. So I'm really sad. If anybody knows where Bamboozle located, which is a great little restaurant, let me know. Moxie's was okay. I'll miss it, but Bamboozle.
Yeah, but Bamboozle, you can find that. I'm
concerned it won't even taste the same since it's not that baked in. Been in that location for years.
So
but yeah. So it'll be sad to see that building come down because it had some beautiful.
Details. That was like an old. What is it?
The Tampa Tribune.
Yeah, building. So it was gorgeous, and it's unfortunate, but that's the.
But we love our new landlords, and we're on Henderson Boulevard, and we're super excited.
Great new place.
So median time to contract down there, they're down. So 9 days, 2020.
So they are still that week long. which is, I mean,
And I think a lot of that's new construction too, because they're having
very
a huge
possible.
boom.
But I also think it's a lot more people are coming in to this metropolitan area of, this bigger city of Tampa from these larger, areas.
Oh yeah, their month supply inventory
Went down. It's less than a month.
Down. It's down 38.5%. So less than a month's worth of inventory versus 1.3 months. So oh, that's a typo.
Looks like it. 50,000.
50,000 year to date.
Oh, year to date. No, that's a typo. Yeah.
So year to date, 50,803 homes. That's up 8.9%. November, they're up 6.3. Their busiest month looks like...
It was June, but same with March. March was right behind it at 5,090. So they had a really boom in March. So Tampa's done really well. I know it's one of a lot of awards. A lot of people talk about Tampa and moving towards Tampa. And we'll talk a little bit about the areas. Sarasota is kind of within, it's Sarasota County, so a little lower. But, this is a West Coast, I think you could say water area. You've got the Tampa Bay. It's not necessarily right on the beach in Tampa, but you've got this beautiful weather, beautiful water around, lots to do, so many incredible things to do in Tampa. So I think it is becoming one of the favorite spots of Florida.
I agree.
Moving outside of Miami. So actually, we've gone over a little. Let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll talk about Ocala and then our forecast for 2022. Stay with us. Thank you. Hello, welcome to Rabell Realty Group. We're located here in Southwest Gainesville in the cutest corner in Hale. I'm Kristen Rabell, broker owner. We're a residential real estate brokerage helping buyers and sellers with all of their real estate needs. We'd love to invite you in to tell you more about what we can offer you.
We also help people get into the wonderful world of real estate by offering training 5 days a week. We also serve Ocala, St. Augustine, and the Tampa Bay area.
And our YouTube channel is here to help you learn more about the real estate industry, market, and your community.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Can we just laugh at that video? We haven't seen it in so long, but that was great.
We're so silly.
We are silly.
I just do what we're told, okay? Yeah. Justin Short with Short Media says do it, and we do it.
We might have to do it a couple times, but
the walking
we got
and
it.
Talking was very tough for me. I couldn't quit, and then I noticed I'd blink 1,000 times when I do it, so my brain was overloaded.
It's great. I loved it.
All right.
All right. Well, let's get into Marion County since we're going over, this November sales and sort of the market outlook.
So it looks like Marion is having a solid turn, year to date. It looks like they're up 19.7%. Honestly, I was thinking about it with Tampa. They probably have nowhere to go, which is why they weren't. I mean, they had 6.3% growth November to November, like that month versus this month. But
yeah, but there was only 8.5, for
there's
for
not
Gainesville,
many places to go either there. But
and Marion County, I mean, people are coming in from all over, but look at that growth.
They have a lot of land.
19.7%. I think that's what I was going to say.
Watch
I think
out,
it's because
Marion.
of land.
They're going to be buying up your land and building houses everywhere. Soon you'll be like Alachua County 2.0.
They're not going to like that.
I know they won't. They'll be moving south down to Citrus and Citra or whatever's around there. But no, that's kind of what my theory was. I'm like, in Tampa, there's only so much land. I mean, they're knocking buildings down and building upwards, going vertical because there's nowhere to go.
And just like it was wild with 71%, 71.6% in cash buyers in Tampa, the percentage raise 21.1% paid in cash more than last year. So again, a lot of cash buyers came in. And as we know, Ocala is a very wealthy area with,
So here's what's
industry.
interesting and part of why I'm like, you guys are definitely en route to become the next Gainesville 2.0. So the dollar volume, 224.4 million versus 148.8 million
last year.
You had an increase of 50%.
50.8%.
So with less than, a little over 100 worth of sales difference. So you're again, I mean, the increases are huge in the dollar volumes, but not necessarily in the amount of buyers that are purchasing. So, and that's just 1 month. So I'll be very curious. I know Florida Realtors tries to put it out around February or March, but the year versus year, I'll be super curious to see. Actually,
we'll bring that on here.
We should go all the way back to 2019.
Right, to really see that difference.
Bring it all the way forward. But it's super interesting to me to see. I mean, the inventory-wise, they went down also.
They went down also. This is a growing place, Ocala and the Tampa area.
Yeah, I was actually reading a little bit about
Incredible
it.
growth.
We
Right.
did some videos about Ocala as we were moving down into that market somewhat. And there were all kinds of things I found interesting. Like they actually have their county population is about the same as ours, but it's a lot more spread out.
More spread out, right.
So
Kind of
which
like how
means you guys-
Jacksonville used to be. So maybe it's Jacksonville 2.0 in some
might
ways.
be Jacksonville 2.0.
You got some water in there, dispersed throughout. Some great areas just to drive from, that are less than an hour away. Mm-hmm. You're really in the center of state right there.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking on the map. I'm like,
No worries about hurricanes like you are on the coast, so you're insulated and safe. Yeah, Ocala might be the next place to live. I mean, Marion County of all, not just Ocala.
I can't name another place in Ocala or Marion County outside of Ocala. No, I can't.
I know a couple of it.
There's
Wildwood.
Reddick.
That's where Jamie's from.
That's right. Wildwood. Yeah, there's a couple of different little places.
I'll think
Dunellen.
of Ocala here.
Is it
in
Dunellen?
Gainesville.
I always get it confused with Tampa. We have Dunedin, and y'all have Dunellen.
That's true.
But
I think it's pretty amazing, the growth of the Ocala region and Tampa area. So, I mean, Gainesville's growing also, but when you look at these numbers, you see how we are not growing. Everybody talks about how Gainesville's growing and keep out these people, but really it's Ocala and Tampa that are growing tremendously.
All right, Kristen. So we're seeing that volume is increasing, dollar volume, the important stuff here, 30% to 50% in the major markets that we serve. What do I do? Do I list my house and sell it now, or do I hold out for more money?
I would say list. You have no idea what's going to happen. Plus, when we talk about 2022, the main thing that's going to happen.
Interest rates.
Interest rates are going up. Now, are they going to go up tremendously? No, but it is going, well,
Shut your mouth.
I don't have a crystal ball in front of me, but all the economists are saying, including Lawrence Young from Realtor,
Yep, and National
Association of Realtors. He's the president or the economist, and he's saying that it could go up as high as 4%, but really we're going to see about 3.5%. And pre-pandemic, we were at 4 and above, not much higher than 4. So it's still really, really, really low. What do we always like to do? We'd like to compare it to the
List
80s
homes. Oh,
when it
yes,
was
that's what we like to do.
22%, 19% when my parents were buying houses. I think your parents bought houses at that time too. And the percentages were really high. And then when we got in real estate, it was 6%. They were saying historically low at 6%, went from 8 to 6. And so we're still historically low. We're just not that 1.5%, 2% that we've seen during the pandemic. So, but it does
too low though for me. I mean, honestly, it's artificial. I mean, to me, it seems artificially low and not normal. I mean, you almost got down to reverse, subprime or whatever.
Sure. And that's probably, I think that did have to do a lot with causing these prices of houses to rise so quickly. And the fact that, yes, there's all of these other things, but with the low rates, now these buyers who couldn't buy in this so-called, whatever price range they're in, now they can buy even more. So you can buy even higher price range, but then the prices were going up even more. So it kind of just, was an aid to the frenzy. Was another part of this frenzy that happened. But what do you see in 2022 happening from everything, or 2022 from everything?
Oh, I was like, what's that noise?
I love it. That's fun. We were not expecting that, by the way.
Okay. What do I see? Apparently magic. No,
magical.
I mean, I've read a couple articles and they're stating that you're going to see prices probably not say level off, but stay steady. But they're expecting to see about 11% average, depending on where you are, growth. So basically just owning the asset, it should increase roughly 11% per year.
That's pretty amazing.
Which is still pretty high. In normal market, you're typically going to see 4-5%. That's why we tell people to stay in your home 3 to 4 years to break even when you go to sell it. So I don't really see how you get rid of an inventory shortage.
Well, I think that despite the issues with supply, right, that we're talking about right now, if we can get past that, finally new construction is coming back on. And so new construction will always save these inventory crises. So I know, like, we work for Grand Oaks. Grand Oaks Phase 2 will be opening up this year in 2022, and that's going to help at least Alachua County. And then you were talking about Tampa.
Yes.
With the new construction.
Yeah, they've been building. I mean, they're building everywhere, but they are going more vertical. There's just, you can't
go out if there's no land.
You can't make any more land. So
right.
you have no, there's, and oh goodness, I should have printed it. I saw an article, and I can't remember, it was probably in the Washington Post based on the type of article it was, but they were saying that 25% of the new growth in, across the nation, now this was for national, not specific to Florida,
right.
was infill in cities. So I know we're seeing that in Gainesville. Lots that I was shocked to see go are now going and moving and being built on when, I'm thinking of one down in the Pleasant Street area that's next to a historic structure that you have to be really careful when you're building, because if you mess up and disturb this structure, it's just precarious to, whatever.
And so that's a historical part of Gainesville that they have a lot of rules with. But everything I'm reading is that, people are buying houses, old houses, and these are other areas, not necessarily Gainesville, and they're tearing down homes to rebuild new homes.
Good luck tearing a home down in Gainesville.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not really Gainesville, it's other areas. But you also have to take into effect that more than half of the United States adults, U.S. adults, retired in the last year. Actually, 50% of U.S. adults age 55 and up had retired as the third quarter of 2021. Now, up from 48%, so there was still a lot of retirees 2 years ago, but they retired early due to the pandemic. So those houses are that, they're retiring, and now they're actually holding on to a lot of money. They're getting this different kind of money. And so we're going to see a lot of people moving to get out of where they need to be. If they're not working, right, they don't need to be near their work, their offices. And then we also know this happened because now we have people that can work remote, right? A lot of people working from home. So I think this, where people are moving to is very different. So that's why I think places like Ocala are really doing well, because it's the center of the state. It's this sort of country, beautiful area. People are coming in from the big cities and they're wanting to be more spread out, have more land. But conversely, you also have places like Tampa where people are coming in. They can pick where they live. They don't have to live in the freezing cold weather of New York City. They can come down in the beautiful Tampa Bay, still work their same job, and live in a high rise in Tampa versus New York. So they're coming from high rises to other high rises. So, and we do have to protect the land because there's not so much. So going up protects that, right? Having more people come in. So I just think we're going to continue to see this growth. Hopefully the inventory shortage will lessen, but we definitely see that what I'm hearing is that the prices are still going to go up, but not as drastically. We've gotten out of that, like, all of a sudden, this frenzy, right? But we're still going to see it go up. And then with the rates rising a little bit, it's going to push a couple of buyers out, which pushes you into the rental market. So don't worry. We are a rental company. we have K&R, right? We have K&R Property Management that handles that. Miss Rebecca here, handles all of it. Yay. So yes. So, that's going to be a complete change for a lot of people. And we talk all the time. I'm going to say this is going to become a rental nation.
It is. It's definitely leaning that way. It'll just become unaffordable to purchase for many people.
Right.
Another thing I found interesting, back to the historic homes, I have read a lot on Facebook groups where there is a movement in Tampa to stop them from tearing down older historic homes to build new, larger homes. And I get it, because we have that in Gainesville. Some of them probably do need to go. Basically anything from the 70s, hideous, tear it down.
Right, and I think they're more of the 1900, the turn of the century, the 1920s, these really cool, older homes that have, beautiful historical architectural aspects of them. But 1970s, I think you should tear down all the 1980s homes.
1980s is just as bad with the way that they were thing that we used to do.
And then the way that they were built. I mean, 50s and 60s had a lot of concrete.
Tear down the 90s homes too. Yeah, sorry.
True.
At 95.
This is two people who know what homes are built with.
1995.
and we know how they were built and the materials, and that's not really the greatest time of materials for Gainesville. We can't
Or
say
anywhere,
that for anywhere else. But, right.
Style-wise, there were just a ton of them. We'll just send us your home. We'll tell you. There's a show, and it's like keep it or toss it or whatever. Anyways, the other thing that I found really interesting about people buying right now, and why I think partly the frenzy is gone. I've spoken to a couple agents down in the Tampa Bay area because I have somebody looking to buy down there, and she had me call on a couple of houses, and the agents down there were all keeping the homes. They were all new construction in this case. They had just been listed, and these couple of agents were basically wanting to keep them on the market for a minimum of a week before they review any offers, because they're having a major problem with people coming in from out of state offering on the property and then canceling during the inspection period. So she, in this particular case, one home had been back on the market 4 times.
Now, we talked about that here in Gainesville.
Yeah,
Remember, I had
it.
a listing. We had a listing, but I was the main person there. We had 3 different contracts on it.
Yeah.
The first time there were like 10 offers. We took one and had a dream and decided not to buy.
That's right. I do remember.
The second one came in, and I think they realized, oh wait, I didn't know I was going to get it because I lost all these other buyers or all these other offers. I didn't realize that this is not what I wanted. I wanted the country. And the realtor even apologized. She was like, I'm really sorry. They lost so much. I thought they were going crazy when they put an offer on this house. It's a great house. It just was not for them. And then the third one, actually it was 4. So the third one came in, and they wanted an entire new roof because they didn't like the panels, the solar panels on them. So they wanted to rip off the solar panels and rip off the roof and then put their solar panels back on, which would have been about $30,000. And so we weren't really willing to do that. And then the next person loved the house as it was. So, people were really indecisive this summer. And so places like Tampa, when they're coming in from out of the area, we're seeing that a lot in Gainesville too. But Tampa, Ocala is where I've heard it the most from our Tampa girls.
I haven't really heard of it
Ocala
in St.
people.
Augustine. They're like, if I want a place on the beach, I'm buying it.
They buy it and they don't care.
Sight unseen, it is what it is.
And we've had a lot of successful sight unseen. I mean, a lot of our realtors on our huddle talk about it. The realtors that work with us at Rabell, they're saying, no, it's fine. They love it. And people are used to buying that way. But we were seeing even more people doing it, people who weren't used to it. We've had that in our industry before, and it's worked out well. Maybe 1% of the time it didn't. But if there's that many more people, it's more like 10% or 20% of the time it goes up. And so, yes, so some ways to be smart is to make sure you keep it on the market and get backup offers. And just know it might not make it through the inspection period, because when they go to see it for the first time for the inspection, they might realize they don't like it. So having those backup offers on, making sure that you still have a lot of interest in it. So a lot of realtors were negotiating, yes, we'll take your offer sight unseen, but we're taking backup offers. Or if, you don't get through the inspection period, we're able to take a backup offer and push you off because, your inspection period is not enough. It's a big contingency. I think the real estate world, realtors really changed how they negotiated this year, with different addenda, taking away. I hated the ones where they would take away the inspection period. I could not stand those, but people took away the inspection period in order to get the house. So yeah, interesting time. And do we think we're going to see more of that this year?
I think you'll see some of it, but I think it's
especially in areas like Tampa.
Down.
I think Tampa's still going to see it with that growth, and probably even Ocala with that growth, and the fact that there's still 1 or less percent or amount of month of inventory, and those areas where there's less than 2, you're going to see it, because that's what was happening when there was less than 2 over the summer. So yeah.
All right.
Forecast is an easier 2021, but still difficult and tough, but still put your house on the market. You're going to get great money right now, great income. And then going to buy is going to be a little tougher than years past, but you have great realtors at Rabell Realty Group in St. Augustine, Gainesville, Tampa, and Ocala. And we can help guide you through the process. We've done it. We've been there. We can all talk and help each other out through this. We've got great teams working for us. So give us a call and we'll get you there. We'll get you through it.
All right. Well, if you don't have a property to sell, you would like to manage it or have it managed professionally, that would be a call to K&R Property Management. which is 352-213-6410. Give me like 10 minutes and then I can talk. But yeah, we're a full service management company, so we're going to get it rented, advertise it, take care of the books and repairs and maintenance and all the headaches for you. You just sit back and collect.
And I want to say, if you're looking for a rental, the great place to start is knrpm.com. You can go there, see what's available for you of our inventory, see what's there, and then call us to see what you like from our list. All right. Thank you, Elio. If you are interested in getting into real estate, despite these crazy things we tell you, it's still a lot of fun, a great career to have, or change your team or join a team, or just learn what we do at Rabell for our realtors, email us at join@buysellrebell.com. We'd be happy to take your inquiries.
And if you can't get enough of Rabell Realty Group on the podcast, you can join us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Oh, wait, I got to do my...
Yep. Like our page, share our page, share our podcast. Did you know we have a blog? We do. We have lots of great content in our blogs, all about the real estate market, things you can do for your home to get it ready to sell with us. You can find it at buysellrebell.com/blog.
And if you are considering a podcast of your own, you should reach out to the Fiesta Media at 327. Sorry, I will never learn how to read somebody else's number.
I know. Thank you, Elio. Thank you for the podcast. Thank you for everyone watching, whether live or after. We hope to see you next week. New Year. Bye. Happy New Year. Thank you.